Have you ever not gotten a job because you're overqualified? Are you wondering if that's just a veiled form of age discrimination? Then definitely keep watching to hear my take. Hi, I'm Coach Carrie, HR strategist and career coach. I help people clarify their perfect job, chart a path to find that position, and then teach them the interview strategies to land attractive job offers. In this video, I'm going to use a scary word, discrimination. So as a disclaimer up front, I am not an employment lawyer, and you should not take any of what I'm about to say as legal advice. Take it for what it is, just an informed perspective from someone who has been a people professional for nearly 20 years, nothing more. So, as an executive coach, I primarily work with seasoned leaders who have at least 20 years of experience. And when these folks conduct a job search, something interesting starts to happen, especially in their mid-40s and beyond. Perhaps that's you, and that's why you're watching. If you have a tenured career, you may start to hear that you're overqualified as a reason for not getting a job offer or even an interview. I'm going to break down what that means and what may or may not be discrimination and what you can do to best position yourself for getting an interview so that recruiters won't see you as being overqualified. First off, the Age Discrimination in Employment Act, or ADEA, forbids age discrimination against people who are age 40 or older. It does not protect workers under the age of 40, although some states have laws that protect younger workers from age discrimination. And the basis of the law says that age discrimination involves treating an applicant or employee less favorably because of his or her age. So the term less favorably is intentionally broad because if the law named all the ways in which unfavorable treatment occurred, it would be too long. And unfortunately, also too limiting as new ways of unfavorable treatment could arise. So that's why courts hear cases to determine if, given the specific scenario, unfavorable treatment arose due to age. All right, now that we understand the basis of the law, let's examine it from the candidate's viewpoint. Most candidates think age discrimination is happening because of their literal age and the negative interpretations recruiters must be making about their age. For instance, not being up on the latest technology or not being sharp. The truth is, if needed to be technical for a position but you lack technical experience, you won't get the job at any age. That's not age discrimination. Similarly, if you're not sharp, meaning you don't seem like an expert in your subject matter, but being an expert is required for the position, you're not going to get the job. I've spoken to plenty of junior candidates who are not sharp, and they don't get the job. It has nothing to do with their age. The moral of the story is that if you're well qualified to do the work because you're experienced, you've got good soft skills like being a good communicator, and you're a fit for the style and pace of the company, you'll be a highly regarded candidate independent of your age. So then what's going on with being overqualified? Let's suppose a tenured candidate applies for a director level job they could have easily done 10 years ago, and they've already had other higher level positions. Not only have they been a vice president, they've actually been a senior vice president. The recruiter will look at that and say, clearly this person is minimally qualified to do the job for director, but should they? Here's where all the assumptions and potential issues come into play. First, recruiters are going to assume that you're too expensive for their budgeted range because you've already likely been earning at a higher level. The salary of a senior vice president is likely higher than that of a director. So while there's often a correlation between age and tenure, being overqualified is often an issue of tenure equaling cost, not tenure equaling age. It's a budgeting issue. My clients say to me, I don't care about the money. I just want my foot in the door at a company and then I'll work my way up. Aha, therein lies the real problem. Let me tell you a quick story. I once hired an overqualified candidate at the title of assistant vice president when, based on their experience, they probably could have been a level higher at a vice president. I had a heart-to-heart with them about the level of work they'd be doing and the pay, and they convinced me that they simply wanted to do meaningful work and also give back to more junior staff as a peer mentor. It was so compelling, we decided to bring that person on board. And in a year's time, that person was in my office complaining about pay equity. They said, Carrie, I'm sitting shoulder to shoulder with another assistant vice president who has 15 years less experience than I do. And I found out that they make $5,000 more a year than I do. As an aside, small pay inequities happen all the time due to market conditions. At the time of recording this video in 2022, companies are having to pay much more for talent than they did just a few years ago because of the Great Resignation and the war for talent. There are actually more open jobs than qualified workers. So year over year, market conditions fluctuate. And in my experience, while companies do try really hard to ensure there's equal pay for equal work, lots of factors need to be examined about candidates, like advanced degrees, certifications, specific work experience, and then job performance being the biggest. Then, of course, market conditions overlay onto all of that. Companies have pay ranges for this reason. So in summary, with all of those variables already in play, recruiters don't like to hire overqualified candidates because it adds potential for age discrimination. It gets messy and they just don't want to deal. So if you're like that same person I hired, who we ultimately promoted, by the way, and you also want to get your foot in the door and you truly don't care about title and salary, at least initially, here are a few tips. At the application stage, first, make sure you remove any dates from your LinkedIn profile or resume that say when you graduated high school, college, or graduate school. Now, knowing that you have a degree is relevant, but when you earned that degree shouldn't matter. Now, if I listed I graduated in 2001, which I did, recruiters can calculate using the assumption that most people are in their early 20s when they graduate from college, that because 20 plus years have passed, that I'd most likely be in my mid 40s, which is accurate. Don't let them make that calculation. Now, second, only keep 15 years of experience on your resume. There's a caveat here. If you're applying for an extremely high-level position in the C-suite, where having, let's say, 25 years of experience, for example, in operations, would benefit you as a chief operations officer, keep all of your applicable career experience on your resume. But if it's the instance where you're highly tenured and going for, say, a director level job because you like mentoring others and you're at the stage in your career where you're not interested in climbing the corporate ladder any higher, those are the instances where limiting your resume to the past 15 years is appropriate. Okay, here's a few tips for the interview phase. Tip number 1. Don't tell anyone how old you are, either directly or indirectly. Don't say things like, not to date myself, but before Slack, we called it Instant Messenger. No. Don't say what generation you're in by saying, I'm a baby boomer, I'm a Gen Xer who gets millennials. Even the oldest millennials are actually already just over 40, so no references to age whatsoever. You'd be surprised how many people do that in an interview. Next, people ask me about appearances. Can't someone tell I'm older if I have gray hair and wrinkles? Well, lots of people have gray hair and wrinkles in their 30s, and most people are actually pretty bad at judging age. So just don't make any comments about your appearance. Plan to look your best, no matter your age. And smile. It may sound silly, but on a biological level, our brain is constantly scanning its environment for both threats and rewards. We try to avoid anything that's threatening. At the most basic level, smiling faces are interpreted by the brain as safe and therefore good. Now, this can make your interviewer feel connected with you and also confident in your ability to build a trusting relationship. And at the end of the day, that's what people really want, independent of your actual age. If you found these tips helpful, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And for other resources, make sure you check out my other videos. And if you have an interview coming up, you may be interested in my Interview Mastery mini course, which I'll link in the description below. Bye for now.